So again, I'm going to say, if you do not know how to combine like terms and distribute, you need to come in and get extra help. Whether that's after school, whether that's before school, you need to get the extra help, please. In number 1, we are combining like terms. The like terms, we have two different things. We either have a coefficient variable, or we have the constants, which have nothing. You can combine one or the other. So I have 3x's and positive 2x's, and I do exactly what it says, 3x plus 2x. We know that it's going to keep the x. 3 plus 2 is 5x's. Then I have negative 7 minus 8. Do exactly what it says. Negative 7 minus 8 is negative 15. What questions do we have there? Okay, got that one?
Yeah, I got that one right.
Yes, okay. A couple of us got it, a couple of us are having a little bit of trouble. Please ask if you don't understand. Number 2, we are distributing. How do I know distribute? Well, there's two things that have to happen. 1, there's a parenthesis. 2, there's something right up against the parenthesis. In this case, right up against, notice how I can connect to the parenthesis. There's a negative 4 there right up against it. I don't just include the number, it's the number and its sign. So then distribute means multiply. I do negative 4 multiplied by x, which is negative 4x. Negative 4 multiplied by, negative 7. And when we did a quiz before, this is where we made a lot of mistakes. It's a negative times a negative, which is positive 28. Okay. Last but not least, we distribute first. Okay. Connect. Notice it's just the negative 3. I didn't touch 5x, so it comes down. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 8 is negative 24. Am I done there?
No.
Why not?
You have the 5x and you have to subtract it from 6x.
Yeah, so we have 5x minus 6x, which is negative 1x. Negative 24 comes down. Okay, what questions do we have? Please, listen, I keep explaining this, and I'm not quite sure that it's getting through. If you don't have the correct answers, copy them down. Because you are allowed to use your notes and your book and your homework and everything else on your tests and quizzes. Like I look at some of you as you do your tests and quizzes, and some of you are smelling shirts, some of you aren't paying attention, but some of you aren't.
It's
Oh, you're smelling Jean Paul. Cool, that's weird. But you need to have these copied down. Alex like, oh. Who is it that you're smelling?
Cologne.
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
He's a lemon.
Okay, that's weird.
Oh,
Now.
that's-
Listen and hear me. These are the rules that we are going to be using for every equation. They will solve about 99% of all equations. You do not want to lose this. I would write some notes on this. So, today we are doing variables on one side. That means there's only going to be variables on one side of the equation. Next week, we are starting variables on both sides.
Is that what we're supposed to be on?
No, we did it on one side.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Like
So,
like the warm-ups?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How about, let me show you, but you can write notes directly on this. Now, I wouldn't overload this paper with notes, because these are going to be the directions. These are going to be the directions for solving all of our equations from this point forward. Okay? So, let's start with examples, walking through exactly what it says. So here's example 1. It's going to say 3x minus 7 plus 2x equals 8. Okay? I would somewhere have this copied down. I would copy this down. Again, I wouldn't put all of this on this sheet. I wouldn't put all of this on this sheet. So pick and choose which example. Maybe put them all on a separate piece of paper, and then choose one equation to go on that sheet that you can use as reference. Okay? So,
I'll use this
okay, that's fine. Step number 1 on your sheet says, find the balance point. Now it's becoming important that we find the balance point. So the balance point's always where? At the
one. Equal sign.
equal sign. Okay? Step 2. Read it to me. What's it say? Somebody other than Isaac. I've heard Isaac over and over and over. Go ahead, Liam. What's step 2 say? You have the paper.
Distribute only if needed.
Distribute only if needed. Do you see anything up here that says that we need to distribute? Why not, Alec? You're shaking your head no. Why not?
Because there's no parentheses.
There's no parentheses. So we're done with step 2. Step 3, Kendall, says what?
Combine like terms on the same side.
On the same side. On the same side. So now I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to cover up one side. Does that look like a warm-up?
No.
Did you not just have a question like this?
Oh, yeah, it does. My bad.
Yeah. How would we combine like terms? Wow. How would we combine like terms?
3x and 2x.
3x and what?
Positive 2x.
So I have 3x plus 2x. And notice how it says on there, it says something directly underneath that. It says, combine like terms on the same side by doing what the operations say. Do not use inverse operations. When we are combining on the same side, there are no inverse operations. Same side, not the opposite, same. 3x plus 2x is 5x minus 7. Okay, can I combine my 5x and a negative 7? No. Step 4 says what? Go ahead, Isaac.
It says combine variables on opposite sides using inverse operations.
Okay.
Addition and subtraction.
Here's a variable. Is there any variables over here?
No.
Skip that step. What's the next step say?
Right.
Somebody else.
Isolate the
No,
variable.
that's number 5. He was wrong.
Oh.
Combine constants.
Combine constants.
On opposite sides.
Constants are the things without variables. So, we're trying to isolate the x. We need to move the negative 7 to the other side. What's the inverse of minus 7? Plus 7. Notice how it says, in parentheses under step 5, addition or subtraction. We're not using multiplication or division, so we have to use addition or subtraction. It's a minus 7. We're going to add 7. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Leaves me with 5x equals 15. Kendall, please read the last step for me.
Isolate the variable by using inverse operations.
Using inverse operations, and in parentheses it says
Multiplication.
multiplication or division. 5 times x. We're not using addition or subtraction. What's the inverse of 5 times x?
Division.
Divide by 5. X then equals 3. So, here was step 1. There was no step 2. Here was step 3. There was no step 4. Here was step 5. Here was step 6. Okay? Let's do another one. Going to be a little bit different. Okay. I want you guys to walk me through this. Use the paper that's directly in front of you and tell me what I need to do. Kendall, tell me what I have to start with. Find the balance point. So step 1. So I'm going to put it in step 1. Okay. Let's go around. I'm literally going to go around. Liam, do I need to do step 2?
No.
What does steps 2 say?
Distribute only if needed.
Do I need to distribute? What am I going to do?
3 times 5x.
3 multiplied by 5x, go ahead.
And 3 times negative 1.
Very good, 3 times the negative 1. What's that? What's 3 times 5x?
15x.
Go ahead. 3 times negative 1?
Negative 3.
Good, so that was step 2. Okay, equals negative 18. Okay. Alec, what's step 3? No, look at your sheet. What does step 3 say?
Combine like terms on the same side.
Okay, let's look on this side. I have a negative 18. Well, there's nothing else there, so nothing to combine. How about on this side? Can I combine 15x and negative 3?
No.
No, okay, then we're done with step 3. What's step 4, Isaac?
Combine variables on opposite sides.
Okay, 15x. Any x's?
No.
Done with step 4. Kindle, step 5.
Combine consonants on opposite sides using inverse operation.
Okay, and it says addition or subtraction, right? What are my constants?
3 and 18. Or -3, negative.
Negative 3 and negative 18. Kindle, that was really cool that you threw your voice back there. That was awesome. So am I moving the negative 3, Kindle, or the negative 18? Do I want to move the negative 3 this way, or the negative 18 from this side towards the x?
Negative 3.
Yeah, we're going to move the negative 3. What's the opposite of negative 3?
Positive.
Positive 3. We're going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 15x comes down equals negative 15. Okay, Liam, last step. So that was step 5. Okay. Step 6 says?
Isolate the variable by using the inverse operations, multiplication and division.
So what do I want to do?
Division.
Of? What am I going to divide by?
15.
Very good. So that leaves me x equals, what's negative 15 divided by 15?
1.
No. Use your calculators, y'all. What's negative 15 divided by 15? A negative divided by a positive?
It's -1.
There we go. Okay, we're following the steps. Following the steps, following the steps, following the steps. Okay, let's do another one. May I erase this first one? I'm going to give you a head start of a minute to work on this. So here's example 3. Use the paper. Okay, use your steps. Use your paper. I want to see you start working on it. I'm going to do attendance real quick because. I'll give you about 20 more seconds to try to work your way up. So far, so good. What else? You skip a step. Yep, that's all. Yeah. So you do distribute. Now you're. Okay, so love what I'm seeing. Love what I'm seeing. Most of y'all are doing great. So, well, don't. No, you are. You are doing great. This takes practice, y'all. Listen, you're learning a new language, and if I haven't said this before, listen, really, you guys are learning a new language. This isn't easy. It takes practice. Kendall, you play softball, right? Or soccer? Which,
Soccer.
soccer. Were you good when you first started? No. Are you good now? Like maybe you're not good. Yeah, you're pretty good now because you've done what? Yeah, you've done it over and over and over and over and over. Trust me, I went into the boxing gym the first time, and I remember leaving, and my dad being like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Wait till you see yourself in the mirror." And like blood was like caked down my face. Like I got the crud kicked out of me. I was not good. I practiced a lot, and I had blood, and I practiced a lot, and my eye would swell shut. I'd practice a lot. My hands would break. Like, but eventually, all the practice started paying off. The same thing's gonna happen here. Don't get frustrated right away, okay? We're building those, like again, now I'm into weightlifting. I don't just go all of a sudden, man, I'm gonna squat 400 pounds. No, I'm gonna start with what I can do and build it up and build it up and build it up. And eventually, I can get to a weight that's a little bit heavier, a little bit harder. We're starting off slightly hard. We're gonna keep building it up, okay? Step 1 is the balance point. There's step 1. Step 2 says to distribute if needed. I need to, because there's something smack dab up against the parenthesis, bless you. And y'all did this great, 6x plus 3 minus 4x. So there was step 2. But then y'all had a little bit of trouble with step 3. Notice I'm not even doing anything with this right side yet. It says combine like terms on the same side. 6x minus 4x. And it specifically says do not use inverse operations. 6 minus 4 is 2x plus 3. That's step 3. Nothing else to do on this side, so now I can bring down the other side. Step 4. Go ahead. You look confused. Let me, where?
No, I get it.
Okay. 6x minus 4x, boom, 2x. So now step 4 says combine variables on opposite sides. 2x, no x's, don't have to worry about that. Combine constants on opposite sides. The goal is to get the x by itself. So I need to move the 3. Use inverse operations, and it says adding or subtracting. The inverse of addition is subtraction. Opposite side, opposite operation. 2x comes down, equals 7 minus 3 is 4. Divide by 2, x equals 2. So this was step 5, that's step 6. So we got in step 1, 2, 3. We didn't do 4 because there was no step 4, 5, and 6. Can we do one more?
Yeah. I got my steps right. I just didn't remember one at one point.
Okay.
By accident.
Now listen, I'm going to confuse you because I'm going to put our variables on the other side. It doesn't change how you do the problem, but I want you to be able to see it on the other side. So this is example 4. Here we go. 10 equals negative 2x minus 3, 4x minus. So yeah. I think that should work without a fraction. I just made it up, but I think that should work without a fraction. So again, let's go. I want you to finish this one. I will give you guys 2-ish, 3-ish minutes. Use the sheet that I gave you. Make sure you're following the steps. If you follow the steps line by line by line, these are not hard. They just take practice. Where you start?
I don't know how. Okay.
You need a calculator?
I'm good.
You need a calculator? One more minute. These are what y'all are doing. If you get stuck, raise your hand. Let me come over. Let me see where you're at. I'm looking at your shoulders, but
Dang it. What?
it looks good though. I think you got lucky with it. You didn't know, but your stuff's good. So same thing, you wrote down the problem. That's what the problem is. Okay, listen, I love what you guys have done. Really. Okay, we made a couple mistakes on signs, but not at all on the math. The math itself is good. Okay? All of us are getting good with step one, as we should. We should know the balance point. We've been doing that already. Step two is distribute if needed. It's needed. Notice that I'm not doing that for myself. I'm showing you the multiplication because that's what you should be doing. The 2x didn't get touched, it comes down. Negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. Negative 3 times negative 10 is positive 30. Haven't done anything there. That's step 2. Step 3 is combining like terms. That gives me negative 10x plus 30. All this comes down. Now, step 4, variables on both sides? Nope. Constants on both sides, yes. But this time, I need to move the 30. Why? Because the x is over here, so I'm subtracting, doing the opposite, the inverse of that. Negative 10x comes down equals negative 20. That's step 5. Step 6 is right here because we're going to divide both sides by negative 10. Negative divided by a negative is positive. X equals positive 2.
So
What questions do you have? Y'all are starting to figure this out. Okay, y'all are starting to figure this out. I'm proud of you. I hope you know that. I'm proud of how hard you worked. I know that some of you don't necessarily like talking to me, but I am proud of how hard you guys worked. We are doing, on this sheet, you are going to do 1 through 17 odd. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. 1 through 17 odd. You can do them right on there. If you need to write them down on a separate piece of paper, go for it. Don't lose this because we're going to be doing some of these in class tomorrow. You're doing the odds 1 through 17. What questions do we have? Go ahead and get started. Love y'all.